question there with the black and the red stripe?
Sorry it took so long, brother, but I got your coffee finally.
Oh my God! Okay, who here's like a fan of D. Gray Man? Awesome. Okay, it's Kamooey's cup, the blue cup with the pink money on it. She made this. It's freaking knitted. This is awesome. Oh my God! Oh my God. Okay, stop giving me things. Seriously. I'm not gonna be able to pack all this stuff when I go home. Okay. Let's start just bringing like a gift cannon and start giving it people. Balls, t-shirts, ice cream. I will say though, speaking of ice cream, like as wonderful as this shirt is, it's not entirely accurate because I'm using a spoon. I rarely use a spoon anymore when eating a pie thing. It's really kind of disgusting. I have a bit of a problem. When it's really hot outside, and that's like the perfect time for ice cream, I just kind of like treat it like a giant push pop. I have big hands, and the thing's tiny, I'll just squeeze the bottom of it until it's like, and it's really disgusting. You go through like an entire pot, and you're like, me and ice cream have a problem. You know you have a problem when your nephews, who are like, 10 and 12, give you for your birthday a glazed bowl that says, Uncle Michael's ice cream on it. I'm like, I need to go to some sort of rehab program. Pretty sure. All right, let's see this other. Yes, you with the red and the cane and the thing. I'm just using words now. You, I see a flash of red and that.
This is actually another character voice question.
All right.
My friend, when she first saw the character, she immediately points him and said that he's gay. How would you respond to that?
Bingo. It's kind of obvious. Oh, as friends, what would friends say? Of course he's, well, we call it fair, but he knows the same thing. I just think he's cool. Things you never think you're gonna say when you get up in the morning. No. All right, let's see. You way there in the back. I haven't gone to the back yet. Yes, you and you. I see like a white robe type sash thing.
I'm just curious, if you were a butler, what variety of butler do you think you would be? Like a good butler, a heck of a butler, etc.
Okay, so like, would I be a butler that's like played by Ian McKellen, or would I be a butler that's played by like Don Knotts? Okay.
For example, if you were a hell of a butler.
I think I would be a hell of a butler. I wanted to be a butler when I was a kid for a little while. I thought being a butler was the coolest thing in the world. But when I watched Clue, has anyone ever seen Clue? I wanted to be Wadsworth. I'm like, I would have just buttled a big house. Butler, that's a word. That's a word. Oh my God, Brenda Palencia, who played CL, actually was in England recently, and she brought back, it's an old book, and she found it and bought it just for me, and gave it to me as an early birthday present. She said, here, this is for you. I opened it up, and it's like, The Butler's Guide to Gentleman's Grooming. Literally, like how to brush your lord's teeth, how to floss him, how to, tie his shoes, fix his cravat, or whatever. It's really awesome. I'm like, now I know. And with that book, I think I would be a butler. I would be in demand. I would probably be an idiot butler, actually. I'd probably fall down a lot, burn the toast. Yeah, I'd probably be a lot more like Grell. That's okay, that's cute. What?
Hooker killing butler, awesome.
A hooker killing butler. We should all have one of those. It's going to be the #1 boutique gift item this Christmas. All right. Let's. Oh, I see an Edward there. Yes, you. It was really funny. I mean, Francis, like, he's not a very dramatically demanding character, you know, it's not like doing Death of a Salesman or something like that. It's really fun to just be that big and ridiculous, because you don't get a chance to do accents very often, and it seems like all at the same time I was in Black Butler, where I got to do a full-on British accent for the first time, and then Italia, where I got to be France. Like, I would go from recording Sebastian to, hey, shut up back there. We're having a panel in this room. This happened last year, didn't it? So anyway, but it was funny. I'd go from being like, you know, this buttoned-up butler to then France, and it was just so big and ridiculous. And by the way, that is a horrible French accent. Like, that is the idea. Like, it's not like French people don't actually speak like that. What?
Love that accent.
Well, it's fun, but that's like it's like Pepe Le Pew. Like, it's French people do not actually talk like. I mean, there might be one or two that talk like this, but French people, for the most part, like, you know, talk, you know, something a little less like, oh. I've known French people, I've never actually heard anyone go, oh. I've never actually heard that. They laugh just like we do with people. But it was really fun. It was really fun to kind of let loose and be that big and ridiculous. And because Italia is such a hugely energetic show, you just kind of go and be like, oh, it was really fun. It was quite a ride. And it's fun to be on a show that you're constantly laughing at between takes. Especially when other people have already recorded on it, so you can play off what they've already laid down, and you're like, oh my god, that's the funny. Like, the first time I heard Jerry Jewell as Russia, I was like, it was a fun experience. I really enjoyed it. Thanks, lads and notes. Okay, let's see. I see you hear the front of the drinking profile. What was going through my mind with the whole mother-father thing between Tamaki and... You know, what's really funny is, what's going through my mind, the reason I love Oran so much, and I do love Oran a great deal, and would be a fan of it whether I had any professional relationship with the show or not. I was very fortunate that I did, but that show was so very much reflective of what life is really like in high school for young people. And I say that to a lot of people, I mean, like, no, very few of us like come to a school that has that much money, or, you know, that has a host club, but I mean just the way that, you know, how confused you are, and how silly things can get, and then how it can get serious, really gravely serious at, you know, just on a dime. Like, that show is so good. I urge everyone who's a fan of that show now in their, you know, in their youth, to go back and watch it a few years from now when life has given you some perspective of what you were actually going through in high school. Because for most of us, high school sucks. It's got its good points, but it's a very confusing time for anybody, you know, and you have, you know, it's why it's so important to so many people, because you're still figuring out who you are. I love Oran because it addresses all those things in a very silly way sometimes, but in a very realistic, genuine way. It doesn't moralize. It's not by some people who are like going, well, here's what I think it was like being a kid. I mean, it feels very real. And it made it very difficult to play Kyoya, for example, because he reminded me so much of what I was thinking when I was a kid. Well, he is very cold, but it's a coping mechanism. Like, he's got his guard up because of the role he has to play among his friends. He does that out of love for them, because he loves them, and they, you know, Tamaki very much. I mean, the first thing anyone would think is, why would someone that smart, that together, put up with Tamaki like that? And clearly, it's because Tamaki fills a missing part of his life. Kyoya can never be that crazy and be that spontaneous. He's too much of a planner, he's too much of an overthinker, and he knows that about himself. And it speaks to his character that he sees in Tamaki someone who he knows, yes, this person's going to drive me crazy, but this is also an adventure I ought to treat myself to, because I'll grow as a person, and he does, and they all do. And that's how, and they're like a family in that some part of them knows that they belong together, all of them. That, you know, for all the fighting, for all the differences they have, they come together kind of under the auspices, under the sort of the roof, if you will, of they're all very lost, they're all very lonely, they're all very confused, they all come from families that don't understand them. There's a lot of, that show deals with so many incredibly powerful, subtle things that would never be allowed on television here in the States. Because comparatively, programming for teenagers about teenagers in high school is really kind of one-dimensional and simplified. And that show I love calling it like a nest of vipers dipped in chocolate, because the first time you watch it, you're like, this is really cute and clever and funny, and yeah, it's got some tearful moments and some, some really overjoying moments, but you go back and watch it like, wow, that really addresses a lot of really interesting issues that people don't often allow themselves to think about. And it's all the more subversive because they don't make a big deal out of it. They take things as granted. Like, it's not like they're not going to make tonight a very special, episode we're going to address is Holly a lesbian? No, it's never like that. It's never that obvious, but it does make you question, like, well, here's this girl who doesn't have a problem with dressing like a guy. What does that say about her? Like, what does that say? And it's just sort of the mutability of what it's like in that place, not knowing who you are, and just kind of going where the wind takes you. And that's revolving. So, to answer your very simple question, that I'm sure you didn't want to hear any of this, playing Keely was really interesting, and like, to me, at first, I was kind of a little like, this is really awkward that they call each other mommy and daddy. Because it's clear to me, at least, that Kyoya has feelings for Tamaki that perhaps go a little beyond what he might ever be comfortable with admitting.